do bobbin work. This will apply also to this will apply to any sewing machine, what I'm about to show you, any Baby Lock machine anyway, okay? You don't have to change your bobbin case or anything like that. So the first thing when doing bobbin work, excuse me, okay, let me move a monitor so I can see my screen. So I have one of these already wound with my Turkish cording that you've seen, some of you have purchased, some of you haven't seen, but looky there, I have it wound on my plastic bobbin. And to start off with, I'm going to show you how to do that because there's a little trick to it. Okay, so I'm going to back up this camera. Okay, now how I did this, I have my thread rack on, and down this, the ball is down in the floor, okay, in a bowl. And I put it from the floor up through this upper loop right here. Then it's going to come down to this hook. I'm going to bring the camera closer so you can see this. Down through there, it's going to come right around this, and then it's going to go over to a bobbin. Now, you have to thread it through the eye of the bobbin. Okay, so on all of our little bobbins, there's a hole in it. Now, this will not go through the hole by itself. It's too big. So what I'm going to do, I use a serger technique, and I create a thread cradle to get that through there. I'm just going to take some thread off of a bobbin. Oops. Okay, you're in the floor. That's okay. I don't care. I'll find you. And all I'm going to do is double the piece of thread I cut over in half so the two cut ends are there pretty equal. Then I have a loop down here. Oops. Right there. Okay. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the two ends through the inside of the bobbin. Right there. And they come out on the top of it. See that? And then I'm going to put my cording through the loop I created. I'm going to let about 4 inches hang out. See there? And then I'm just going to pull it through. Let me get my hand out of the way. I'm going to pull it right through. And now I have that cording threaded through my bobbin. Now, I'm going to take that and put it on my bobbin winder. You can wind it by hand, or you can do this. And the thing is, you want there to be a little bit of tension, so by it hanging down off into the floor, so we're going to hold it up. You're going to hold it up above the bobbin like so, okay? And then I'm going to push the lever over so it's engaged. My little screen comes on for bobbin winding. And I'm going to keep my hand here because if I get too much tension on it, it'll shut off a safety feature, and you might just have to restart it until it's full. But here we go. I just started and stopped it. As you can see, once it gets tension on it, it stops. And that's okay. It's not damaging anything. Almost there. There. Now the bobbin is full. I'm going to cut this off right up here. And I'm going to cut it about right there. I'm going to put that over to the side because we're done with that for right now. And there you go. I have now wound that heavy cording around my bobbin. Okay. So I already have one of these that I've wound in the machine. But I'm going to take it out because there's a special way to get that cording to where it will sew. Now the foot that I've got on is one that comes with the machine. It's the N foot, N as in Nancy. That's a decorative stitch foot. Another foot that would work really well with this would be the candle wicking foot, right there, and that is BLSOCWF. When I get back over to the other side of the table, I'll type that into the comment section. But this is what the candle wicking foot looks like. It's a heavy metal one. But what's important, you have to have it so it has a deep groove on the bottom so that that heavy cording will pass through okay. But I'm just going to leave the N foot in. That's what I've been using while I've been playing. Now, we're going to insert the bobbin just like we would a regular bobbin. We're going to drop it in. Oops. There, it's dropped in. Bring this closer so you can get a better look. I just dropped it in, and I'm just going to let that hang out there for right now. Okay? So I'm going to pull that thread up. Let's see here. There we go. I'm going to grab a hold of my top thread, and I'm going to use I'm just going to, with my hand wheel, I'm going to move the needle down and up, and then I'm going to pull on that top thread and check it out. It pulls up that cording right through the hole on the needle plate, and we're ready to go. You don't want any tension on that cording. You're not going to run it through this loop so it engages the bobbin tension, and now you just put your cover, your bobbin cover, back on, and you're ready to go. So when you're using a heavy cording, you can use straight stitch, you can use decorative stitches, but it really shines with the decorative stitch. So what I've got in here right now, this is the feathering stitch, Q19 in the Q menu. You want to put your width as wide as it will go and the length as long as it will go, because this is really heavy stuff. This little sample fabric I have fusible fleece on the back of it. You could use stabilizer, whatever you wanted to do. But the trick with this is, since we're doing bobbin work, this will simulate hand embroidery. You want to put the front of your project down and have the back of it sticking up. Okay? I'm going to lower my foot. I got my speed set to about a medium speed, a little less than medium right here. And we're going to press the start button and we're going to see what happens. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. There we go. And I'm just guiding the fabric. I'm not pulling on it or pushing on it or anything like that. Bobbin work used to be really popular in the 90s and in the late 2000s. There we go. Now, when you're doing this, never touch the scissor button, because that cording is so thick it's not going to cut it, or it could damage your thread cutter. Just manually raise your needle, pull it out of the back, and leave about a 4-inch tail still coming out of the machine. Now, are you ready for the magic? I got so excited earlier when I was doing this. Check this out. It's so beautiful. I mean, this is awesomeness, okay? All of that heavy metallic cording that I have, you can use other cording as well, 2mm silk ribbon, so much stuff, but you just have to sit and play with it. But check it out. Doesn't it look like someone actually did that by hand? It doesn't look like it was done on a machine. It is so cool. Now we're going to do another stitch, okay? We're going to do another stitch. I'm going to put it back right side down, okay? And I'm going to do the serpentine stitch this time, 7mm wide And I'm going to put that up to 3 millimeters in length. We're going to press the start button and see what this one looks like. Not all stitches will work well with it. It's just something you have to play with. But that's part of the fun of it, right? Okay, needle up. Never press the scissor button. And we'll just pull it out the back and give it a snip. Let's see what this one looks like. Ooh la la. Love that. Look at that. I mean, I could see embellishing quilt blocks with it. I could see doing garment embellishment with it, home decor. This has it looks like it has been hand stitched down, everybody. This is the rainbow color of the cording that I have. Pretty cool, right? But there's more. Let's do another one. Let's see, we did the feathering stitch and the serpentine Q20. You want to raise it all as wide as it will go, and we're going to lengthen it so we have it a 7 millimeter width, a 5 millimeter length. Now, you can see through there, this probably won't do a whole row because I can see the bobbin starting to get a little bit low. We'll see how far we can go on one bobbin. And yes, the bobbin sensor will alert you when the bobbin is low. Because we should see that pop up here pretty soon. There we go. So it says the bobbin is almost empty. So what we're going to do, we're going to see these stars right here. So that is where you can program in whether it'll do continuous stitching or take one stitch at a time. We're going to set that so it just does one complete stitch. And there it is. That is now when we go to start back up, we can match it up with that and continue on. So I'm going to raise my presser foot. I'm going to pull it out of the back. Check it out. Ooh, I love this one too. Look at that. So what we're going to do though to get that, now remember those Sashiko needles I was showing you that I got in? Perfect for this type of heavy thread to stick it into the back of your project and then tie it off back here with a knot. That's why I got those in, was for that purpose. So I'm going to take that one that we just wound. We just wound this one. Oops. I'm going to put it in. I'm going to hold on to my string here, my top thread. This time I'll just use the needle down, needle up. There it is. Let that dangle out of the back. Now, what we're going to attempt to do, and it'll be close, and with that extra thread in the front, you could actually make it work. So what I want to do here, though, I'm going to select a different stitch, because I want this to go back to the very beginning of the pattern. There we go. Now we'll go back to that Q20 stitch, and we're going to reset it all the way to the width, and as long, all the way to the length, 7 millimeter wide, 5 millimeter long, continuous. And now I'm going to line the needle up with where the last stitch did on this pattern. I'm going to use my hand wheel to lower it right on top of where it stopped stitching. Now I'm going to drop my presser foot. Okay. And we should be good to go. We're going to find out here, aren't we? Let's give it a start button. And I was off to the side a little bit, but that's part of it. And when you're really going to do this on a project, you can, and you know what stitch you're going to do, you want to do a sample with one bobbin, because, and look, I forgot to put my bobbin cover back on, everybody. Oopsie. We'll see if that made a difference. It may have. I will just sneak that bobbin cover back on there. But there we go. There's my 2 threads. I'll have to push them to the back. And yes, so I was off. Anyway, I was off just a little bit on my start and stop. But as you can see, it's a beautiful effect. I love this effect. Let's do one more. Let's see here. Which one do I want to do? I want to do eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm going to go to the number 1 stitch menu. Is this where it's at? Nope, I'm going to go to the number 2. Here we go, I think. Yes. And I'm going to do this one, 207, the scallop stitch. It's already all the way wide, but I want to put that up to a 2 millimeter length. And hopefully that won't be too tight. We'll see. Let's see what 3 would look like. I'm going to do a 3 millimeter length. Okay. And we're going to hit the start button and let it rip. And as you get close to the end, if you wanted to, you could slow the machine up so you don't go off the end. There we go. Needle up, no scissors. Pull it out of the back. We'll do a thread snip. Let's see what this looks like, the scallop stitch. There we go. So much fun. I could sit here for hours and play with this.